Congressman Demings, thank you very much for joining us on this important night. We heard Gianna Floyd say that her father's death can change the world. So far, it has changed something in most legislatures around the country. The big question facing Washington tonight is, what will it change in Washington? What will happen on the George Floyd bill? Is there any real prospect of getting it through the Senate intact?
Well, Lawrence, let me say it's good to be back with you, and what a day of reflection. But I also feel like it is a day of hope. When we look back over the last year, after this very tragic event, a lot has changed. And I join my colleagues in the House and the leaders on this effort in the Senate, really believing that we will get this legislation done. We don't have a choice. After the pain that we've all, certainly the Floyd family has suffered over the last year, after the pain that Minneapolis has suffered over the last year, and the numerous thousands of people, the witnesses who testified, Daniela, who you talked about earlier, we have got to get this done. And I really do believe, Lawrence, that we will.
I want to draw on your expertise in police work to tell us what you think are the most important elements of this legislation.
You know, one of the things I say is that everybody counts, but everybody is accountable. You've heard me say many times that no one is above the law. I believe that this legislation, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, is not perfect, but I do believe it is a good start. The national database is a good thing. Looking at training is a good thing. Looking at policies is a good thing. I do believe that that the Senate and the House must come together in holding officers accountable and look at how we can change qualified immunity, especially for the most egregious behavior. I believe that good police officers, I worked with many of them, want to see this done. They understand it. So I believe that while the legislation is not perfect, that it is a major step in the right direction.
Let's listen to what the vice president had to say about this today.
Well, we are waiting, we're listening, we're hearing. The work is happening. Senator Cory Booker, he and I together wrote the Justice and Policing Act when I was in the Senate, together with Karen Bass and Jerry Nadler on the House side. And the work that they have been doing has been, I think, intensive work through the weekends. The House members, including Karen Bass, not going back to the district but continuing to work on it. So they're working around the clock from everything I can see. And we're waiting to hear. There seems to be a bit of optimism coming from the Hill, and that gives me a sense of optimism. And we'll wait and see.
Congressman Demings, your reaction to that?
Well, I believe Vice President Harris is absolutely correct. There is no doubt in my mind that those who have been working around the clock over the weekend are serious about getting this done. I've certainly spoken to Senator Scott, certainly with Karen Bass and others regarding this legislation. Their commitment is there. And that's why I really do believe that while it may be a slow process, I think Representative Bass said it correctly. Having substantive legislation is more important than meeting a deadline. We want to get this right, Lawrence. We have to get it right.
Do you think there's any possibility of getting your state's 2 senators, Florida's 2 senators, to support this legislation?
I don't think there is any possibility of getting, and I say that with the most pain that I can muster up, but I do not believe one or both Florida senators will support this legislation. Lawrence, I know that we have a great 2-party system in this country, strong 2-party system, but we've always, if you look back historically, we've been able to come together to meet the moment when it dealt with some of the toughest situations that we face. This is one of those moments, but I do not believe, and I say this unfortunately with the utmost confidence, that neither Florida senator will rise to the occasion to meet this moment.